I didn't say that. Okay, we don't do that. Okay, now that's something that a suspected white supremacist would do. Not saying that you are, but being deceptive. Deception is a trait of a white supremacist. All white people are not white supremacists, but white supremacists are the most powerful people on the planet. There are a lot of white people who are not white supremacists whatsoever, but they are not the powerful people. The people who believe in white supremacy are more powerful than them because the system still exists. So let's go from there.
Okay. Now I'm just going off because I heard your conversation with Diligent, and I follow him, and I think he brought a lot of valid points, and it seemed like whenever he was speaking, that some of the stuff that he would say that was making headway, you would kind of flip the conversation. So that's where I'm trying to pick off from there, and
What was the thing that was making headway?
I believe Diligent was saying some very good points. He's more well spoken for me. To be honest, I didn't even think you would accept my mic, so I'm not as prepared. But I do want to have a good conversation with you.
Let's go.
What do you feel like? What do you want me as a white person to do to help?
Pay us our reparations. I'll need you to go out here and make sure we get the reparations that's paid.
Okay, so going by what you're saying,
Hmm?
how do I know who and what I owe reparations to?
Are you a part of the United States government?
I'm a U.S. citizen.
That's right. That's a part of the United States government. You're a U.S. citizen. So that means you're part of the system that owes Americans reparations for slavery first. We're just talking about slavery first. We'll get to the other stuff later because there's so many other things where there has been economic deprivation and targeting of us. But we're just dealing with slavery, the building of this country, where my family had to build this thing for free and got no compensation. And all of that money was hoarded and maldistributed into white hands and in the hands of white supremacists. And then they went to Europe and said, hey, guys, come on over here. This place called America, that we got all of this wealth from these black people. And if you're white, we're going to give some of it to you. And then people packed up on boats and came on over here knowing what the deal was. So since you came over here and you knew what the deal was, you owe. I hear that. I wasn't there. You came over here. You heard there was some ill-gotten gains and you were perfectly fine with it. So you were complicit. That means you owe. That's how that works, right?
Yes, I'm following what you're saying.
There,
So
there we go.
well, we have 330 million Americans.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you stated what you said and you believe. So my question is, how do we get everybody on board to even get on that topic of consideration to get what you're asking for?
Mhm. It's just doing the right thing. Just do the right thing. The same way all of this money is being unjustly given to non-citizens who are not even citizens. People are just crawling across the border, just getting housing, medical care, money, debit cards, EBT. Just simply redirect that money to foundational Black Americans so that we can boost this economy and do the right thing. That's all we got to do. It's real simple. It's not rocket science.
All right. So if it's that, like you said, it's that simple. Does it piss you off that the Harrison Biden administration is feeding illegal aliens so much more money and you're not getting anything?
Yeah, I'm not pissed off. We're just used to it. We're not even pissed off. It's not even an emotional thing with us anymore because we understand how white supremacy works. Our thing is do this stuff to undermine us, and then they try to shame us into supporting the political process. And we're saying no, we're taking the emotions out of it. We're not trying to hug, kiss, dance, sing, eat collard greens, none of that stuff. We're trying to have a big action. If you want to get in office, if you need this political machine to work, you're going to have to bring something to the table. This benign neglect policy that they've been having against Black Americans, that's going to stop if they want us to engage in the political process. And if we drop out of the political process, that becomes a dangerous constituency. And they know that because a group of people who have no faith, who has no faith in the system, that's a rebellious group waiting to happen. And they don't want that. So it would behoove them to just do the right thing, right?
Yeah, in theory, but some of there's people of your own race that disagree with you. So if you
Like who?
can't get people of your own race to agree with what you're saying, and you think we come from the cloth of white supremacy. Sorry if I'm not saying that the right way. I
Right.
mean, uh, uh, how do we physically find a solution? Because I honestly don't think I'm from that cut from that cloth. By me being white, obviously I think you said that to Diligent before, but I think differently. So, I'm not gonna fight you on this. I want to know, like, what is our solution to get to this then besides paying reparations? Because I don't think there is a solution to even get that done at this point. So
Okay.
where do we start?
Here's the problem. You cannot have a continued system of non-justice. It's going to inevitably fail. So you can have it fail fast, you can have it fail slow. So it's going to fail if you can't have a perpetual system of non-justice. You can't have that because then what you have to do, you have to then create an oppressive system, meaning that you have to create a police state, which is what the white supremacists try to do. So instead of paying us the reparations so that we can have reparations so we can have an equitable society, they use that money to give billions of dollars to militarize police so they can just hammer down on us, which triggers more injustice, which triggers more violence, which triggers more pain. You got to do lawsuits on the place. So the white supremacists, they want to sit up here and cut off their noses to spite their faces. It costs more money to produce non-justice. To maintain an unjust system, that's more wasteful spending. It costs billions of dollars to maintain these militarized police units. When there's riots, billions and billions of dollars of damage is done. Right now, there's like a mini riot in DC right now. That's wasted money. And that money could be used for justice. That money could be used for reparations. We could be circulating that money in the economy. Everything could be all good. But they piss it off by spending that reparations money unjustly. So the money is going to be spent. It would be better to be spent in a good way instead of a negative way, because the money is going to be spent either way.
Yeah, and obviously you're a fellow American. I'm a fellow American. I love the American people as a whole. I don't put color on it. Um, but like what you were saying before is, with the rides and stuff. I mean, it's kind of like the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting the same result.
Hmm.
So like I'm not arguing with you here either. Please don't think that. I'm just
Right.
really trying to wrap my brain around this entire situation and understand and learn from it better. But I I'm not seeing a solution, especially if you want a solution where you think that we're the problem, if that makes sense.
Well, the solution is rectifying what the problem is that the white supremacists created. They created a very specific problem for a group of people based on race. We were based on race, and we're still targeted based on race. They made that part of their culture. They created a whole culture called white supremacy. They created that, and they made laws to protect a culture that they created. White supremacy is their term. They bogged down in our heads that they're going to have this system of white supremacy, and we're supposed to be some kind of second class citizens. And we said, no, that's not, we can't really work with that. And we have been fighting against that nonstop. So it would be best for the dominant society to just do the right thing and give compensatory justice to the people that they've wronged.